Hello.
Hello.
Car just drove by.
Car just drove by. So we are here at my work, waiting, because we're early. That's why I look so pretty. So, it's been a while. It's been a while.
2 weeks.
Since I could
2 weeks.
say I made a video. Eye crusties.
You got eye crusties.
I don't. I checked.
It's 11:35, Sunday the 23rd.
24th.
So how was your last 2 weeks?
Pretty good. I hung out with Maggie on Thursday because one of her best friends is getting married, so she's going to the bachelorette party this weekend, so I helped her make cookies and jello shots. That was fun. But other than that, I've been working, and then when I'm not working, I'm at home watching TV and cross-stitching.
So much cross-stitching.
So much. Oh, when I went to Maggie's, I guess her aunt cleaned out her house or something, and she had a whole box of like cross-stitching hoops and threads and fabric and stuff. So she gave it to me. So it was like Christmas. It was awesome.
That cloud looks like a butthole.
You look like a butthole.
It does though.
Whatever. How's your 2 weeks? You probably have more to talk about than me because I do the same thing every day.
Well, over the last couple weeks, actually just this last week, we had one person walk out, one person quit. I did 2 final written warnings for no-call, no-shows. I did a verbal warning for attendance, and there's one person who is getting ready, should have been fired on Friday for his attendance. So it was a pretty eventful week. I don't feel like I did any supervisor type stuff at all. I feel like it was all like HR stuff. And the lady that walked out, due to special circumstances, we were able to call her up and ask her if she wanted to come back, and she accepted.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, I didn't? I thought I did.
You told me that you called her, but you didn't tell me that she accepted.
Yeah, she accepted the position back
That's good.
due to special circumstances.
Yeah, it was kind of,
It's weird.
yeah, kind of wonky.
Yeah. I have a lead, the one that's in shipping, who went for surgery, and then he came for hernia surgery, and I guess some of his intestinal fluid was leaking into his bloodstream. So you can see like his veins and stuff are bulging and whatnot.
Ew.
Yeah. He thought
He was probably being poisoned.
Yeah,
by
he
his
thought
own
it was.
blood.
He thought it was just because he works out,
Oh yeah.
but his veins were all bulgy and whatnot.
Because they had poo in them.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. I have another lead who's never been a problem in anyone else's eyes except mine because he refuses to follow instructions. So I finally put pen to paper with him, and he's like, "Well, you guys aren't empowering us." I said, "Empowering you guys doesn't mean you can ignore my direction." I said, "If there's a problem, communicate with me at the very least. I have my phone on me. You guys can email me at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll respond."
Speaking of your phone.
Oh my goodness. So
this fucking guy.
we had some overtime. I first called for voluntary overtime.
But nobody volunteered.
Nobody volunteered. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to pick and choose who's mandatory because that's not fair. I said, so if nobody's willing to volunteer, then I'll call mandatory for everybody. And so nobody volunteered. So I made it mandatory for an entire department. And one of the guys, he says, well, I'm not coming in. I'm like, that's your choice. He's like, once I say it's personal, I said it's personal. Once I say it's personal, you can't ask any more questions.
I wasn't.
I didn't ask anything. I called him back in my office later. I was like, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I have zero interest in your personal life. If you can't make it in, I'm going to give you the same courtesy I give everybody. I'm going to let you know that if you don't call in the morning, it will be a no-call, no-show. He's like, what's the difference? I'm telling you right now. I said, if there's no difference, then you'll call me in the morning. Which is policy. I wasn't just making things up. That's the correct way to do it.
Like most jobs.
Yeah. You have until 2 hours after the start of your shift to call, or it's a no-call, no-show.
Which is really lenient.
Yeah, this is a Saturday, too. So, we get woken up at 3:57 in the morning with a phone call. I look over at my phone, I ignore it, I go back to sleep. A minute later, it rings again. I look at it, I ignore it, and then I put my phone on silent and go back to sleep.
I had to be at work at 7 a.m. that day.
Yeah. Well, after I woke up, I looked at my phone, and this fucking asshole had called my phone 19 times between 3:57 in the morning and 5:30 in the morning. And some of the phone calls were 1 minute after the next minute, after the next minute, after the next minute. And so I showed my boss when I got to work, and he's like, "That's not right." I'm like, "I know."
Tell me about it.
And this guy that called me is just playing a game, and we both see it. And my boss is like, he's going to come in here on Monday and be like, "Look, like I tried to call, but no one answered."
Well, and the thing of it is, he didn't leave any messages.
Nope.
He just called. So he got a no-call, no-show.
No, we didn't give him the no-call, no-show. We actually gave him a written warning for the entire thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. There was a written warning for rudeness to customer/coworker and violation of company policy.
So it's harassing.
Right.
It's harassment.
And we talked to my boss's boss to let him know what had happened, and he's like, "I would have fired him." I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you. That's what I said." But he claims that, like, I can't say it was a no-call, no-show, because he came into my boss's office that Monday to show him that he called. He's like, "I called him 6 times. My boss is like, "You called him 19 times. And when we got on the phone with the HR lady, she's like, "You have to know that's not right." He's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, what the fuck?
So
is
what
your
were
problem?
you doing?
He actually told my boss that he wasn't trying to be malicious. That came out of his mouth. So he was trying to be malicious.
Right.
So I gave him the written warning, and he refused to sign it. He said that he didn't want anything to do with it. Didn't even want me to read it to him. Didn't want to read it himself. Didn't even take a copy. But we had the HR lady on the phone during this whole conversation, and she's like, "You have to know that's not right." I was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
And at one point, when they were talking about it, he actually smiled to himself, like he thought it was funny. I didn't call him out on it, but
He's playing games.
yeah, exactly.
He's fucking.
He's
a child.
He's like, "Now I know for next time."
You're lucky there is a next time.
Yeah, seriously. Because this guy's had problems with my boss. Like, he actually asked my boss when he was running a piece of equipment, he's like, "Do you want me to break it?" My boss was like, "Don't ever ask the director of operations. Do you really think I want you to break this machine? Do not ask me that."
Yeah.
And at one point during the write-up, because my boss was there, he actually called my boss a liar. He got pissed. He's like, "Be careful with your words."
Yeah.
But it was just basically a written warning for violation of company policy. So if he does anything else again, it's going to be a final written warning. This includes not listening during a meeting, interrupting during a meeting, anything as small as like that he does constantly will be a final written warning. But he's been quiet since the last time.
Maybe he learned his lesson.
No, these type of people, they'll push you and push you and push you,
And then back off for a little bit and then do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're expecting with one other associate, and that's what I'm expecting with him. He thinks that if he lays low for a couple months, it's going to go away, and it's not. So that was an interesting couple of weeks. Anything else? I was at the gym, and I see this guy that's 350 pounds, not in the good way. And he has his little tiny buddy with him. And, I see him, and first thing I think is good for him. He's in here, making an effort to get healthy. Well, after his buddy left, I was over working near him, and I don't know if anybody realizes there's a certain etiquette you have when you're at the gym. One of them is you don't hover over pieces of equipment that someone might want to use if you're not using it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 sets of dumbbells. So he had 6 dumbbells all around him, and he was sitting on the bench texting on his phone for like 40 minutes. Then he just got up and left. Didn't do another. He
went to the gym physically, but he didn't actually do anything.
Right.
So when his wife or whatever asks him, "Did you go to the gym?"
It's like,
he'd
I
say,
was
"Yeah."
there for 3 hours. Like you were sitting on.
But
the
he
phone.
didn't actually do anything.
Right. So he did re-rack the weights before he left, but I wanted to use a couple of those. By the time he actually left, I was like, "This guy's fucking stupid. Fuck him."
Fuck this guy.
Nothing else interesting.
Yeah. It's been thunderstorming a lot, like every day.
It's been getting warm and humid.
So warm.
Right now it's 93 degrees outside. Which ain't bad, but when you consider how sticky it is.
Yeah. I feel like we're in the way.
Yeah, somebody waved at me as they went by.
Waved at you or flipped you
Like-
off? You're like, you're in my way.
And I was like, suck it, nerd.
It's like an
I don't know
nerd.
how we could be in the way of the sidewalk right there.
No, I mean like for traffic. This is supposed to be like 2-lane
Yeah.
traffic. Oh, hazards, cool.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Or you could just move up a little bit.
That's not gonna make a difference.
Yes, it will, because it makes the entrance a little wider. I don't know. But yeah, things are good.
We were talking last night at Sophie Way. When was the last time she saw her psychologist?
She went to Peru for like a week, and then I just never made another appointment because it seemed like every time we went, we never really touched on any of the subjects that I really wanted to talk about. Like, I don't know. And then like half the time we would just bullshit the entire time. Like, oh, do you know any good restaurants around? So I think I'm gonna try to find someone else. Like, I really like her, and I feel like some things she would try to like push her opinion on me. Like, I don't know.
Sophie would come home and tell me about the meetings, and I'd be like, it sounds like she's trying to mold you into something that she wants to see. Like she's like she said, pushing her opinion on you. And she didn't really see it when she was seeing her.
I think
she
I
spent
like
some time away.
Yeah, since I was just new to the area and I just really needed someone to talk to, really. But I mean, I've been fine. I haven't had any depression or anxiety or anything. So I did have like a tiff with the produce manager like last week. There's like a communication breakdown between the two of us, and he came over and started being all aggressive and so, and like I was hormonal and frustrated, so I started crying. And then he kept interrupting me. Like I was trying to tell him like what was happening, and he wouldn't let me finish. He's like, it's black and white. There's no gray. And I was like, well, okay, fuck you. I didn't say that, but
Where I work, interrupting somebody is covered in a policy of
bullying. But so like I had 2 or 3 days off after that, so I had time to cool down, and things have been okay since then. But I've been having some communication issues with him and the floral specialist because it's different how they communicate. They want like over communication, and I'm used to the deli where there's like no communication. It's like you come in, you know what you need to do, you do it, and you leave. So
I like to over communicate with you, and it frustrates you.
yeah.
I was playing Cookie Jam or something on my phone, and Sophie's like, let's go to bed. It's time to go to bed. She's like, it's getting late. I'm like, hang on. This is one of those games where you get 5 lives, and if you want more, you have to buy them or wait. I was like, hang on. They just gave me 16 hours of free lives. Do you know how many games I could play in 16 hours? Like, I gotta choose my priorities.
He's addicted to this game.
I'm not addicted.
Yes, every time I walk in and like when you're just not really doing much, not doing anything, he's on his phone.
Well, then I'm doing something.
Well, you're playing Cookie Jam.
16 hours of free lives. That's all I say. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. Is she just like, what'd you say?
Don't irritate me.
But there's 16 hours of free lives. I was trying to over-communicate the importance of it and the significance of the 16 hours.
Whatever. So, I learned how to chunk melon. You got coffee all over this.
Yeah.
I learned how to chunk melon in the produce department.
Is it chunk or chuck?
Chunk, like into chunks. And so that's cool.
So you're not throwing melons at people?
Nah, that'd be fun though. So I did
How to
that.
chuck melons.
It's like dodgeball.
Yeah.
With melons.
When no one's looking. I don't know. It's getting bright out.
I know. Your pupils are teeny tiny because of the sun.
Yeah.
Because you got them blue eyes.
And the cocaine.
And all the cocaine. Just kidding. We don't do that.
We haven't found it out here yet.
I had a dream about it though.
I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells.
Yeah. Anyway.
It hasn't been very eventful. I mean, I've had a lot of HR stuff at work, but that's about it. And our lives are so drama-free outside of work that we kind of like feed off each other's work stories.
Like, oh, tell me what happened at work.
She has nothing for me lately. It's been a one-way thing, and I feel it's just not right.
It's just not right.
It's just not right.
I'm sorry. I'm happy.
Thank you for apologizing.
Get ready.
Get ready, you are ready.
I mean, like,
All right, we will talk to you guys later.
bye.